It's June of last year, and I have a week off from school to study for exams. I'm looking forward to a week where I can go to the gym, make YouTube videos, and study for the exams, and maybe even do some fun stuff on my own time. But I roll out of bed at 8 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. like I planned on the first day, and my body feels like it weighs an extra 30 pounds. My head's throbbing from a lack of sleep. I'm super fatigued. And then I look over to my desk in the corner of my room, and then I see my gaming PC that's shut off and sitting there. And then the events of what I did last night just kind of come back to me in a flood of memory. And I remember that I came back from school yesterday, which was the last Monday we had off before exams. And then because I had no responsibilities for the day before, I basically took a whole bunch of caffeine and played about a solid 9-10 hours of video games, because I knew that I wouldn't have anybody to keep me accountable the next day for playing video games for that amount of time and getting basically like no sleep over the entire night. So I played until about 1 a.m. in the morning, and then I stumbled into bed. And then here I am, totally sleep deprived. I got a carb crash from the junk food that I was eating while I was playing video games. And I plan to film a video, then work out, then do some studying today. But then what I find myself doing now is that I have no willpower. I have no ability to do any of those things because I basically just screwed myself over the night before. And that's when I begin to kind of realize just how little impulse control I have, and how this addiction that I have to playing video games. And I hesitate at first to call it an addiction, but then I realize that it really is this problem that's consuming me whole. I realize that because I have so little impulse control, this thing has basically become an addiction and taken over my life. Now, I try to go to my basement to where I have my home gym, and then I try and stretch out and do a workout, because there's really no chance I'm going to be able to do any studying or deep work of any sort for that day, because my brain just can't focus if I don't get enough sleep. So I try and stretch out, but I can't find the right music, and the stretching hurts, and I got like this weird pain in my shoulder because I've been eating like this weird bad chemical junk food from the day before during my binging session of gaming. So I basically just go back upstairs, log into Minecraft again, start building my empire again, put on my podcast, put on my audiobooks, and yeah, that's my entire day. It's just shot because I couldn't take responsibility for myself the day before. So maybe you relate to this, maybe you haven't thought about it that deeply, but I guarantee, or I'm willing to bet that if you're watching this video, then you're probably fed up with this cycle that you have of binging video games for a super long time, probably accompanied by some other sensual pleasures like junk food or podcast, other stuff like that basically just like keeps you entertained, keeps you in kind of this rut that is long periods of gaming. And then you wake up the next morning and you have all these responsibilities to fulfill, but they're so much harder because you're used to gaming, and it's like the funnest thing that you have to do. So in this video, I'm going to explain this cycle of gaming and how I escaped it, and how I've managed to get out of multiple gaming ruts over the course of the last couple of years. And if you want even more help with this, if you enjoy the content in these videos and you find them helpful, then you can go ahead and check out my course. The link to it is in the description. It's about 2 hours of me explaining how I personally beat video games and actionable steps that you could follow in order to beat your own gaming addiction yourself. So it's kind of like the masterclass version of this video, and go ahead and check it out if you want. The price is going to slowly increase over time, so you can get a head start on everyone else and tackle your gaming addiction right now for the cheapest price ever. Back to my story, that gaming was very comfortable and very engaging for me over this period in my life. I remember over Christmas holidays of 2023 to 2024, I basically just started it by logging into my Switch, playing Minecraft for like the entire time, because like my family was sick, I wasn't busy, I wasn't doing anything really fun or productive otherwise. So I just defaulted to this bad habit that I had, and I made a lot of progress. I pulled some all-nighters. It was kind of fun because I had like no responsibilities, and I could just keep doing this and playing it like some little boy who had just gotten some time off from school and he wanted to have fun. And it was fun, like, in the moment, right? It is fun while you're doing the bad habit. But once you wake up the next morning, you realize just what a piece of shit you've been to yourself. You realize just like how you've betrayed yourself to this bad habit. How you sacrificed your sleep. That'll probably decrease your lifespan and it'll decrease your quality of life. Now you're at higher risk of cancer because you ate junk food last night and you stayed up till freaking 1 a.m. It's a terrible lifestyle. And once you realize that, it's really hard to not go into a deep depression if you actually care about your self-care and how you treat yourself. So fast forward about 30 minutes in that last story that I was talking about, that I opened the video with, and I'm sat at my computer, I'm playing Minecraft, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then my room's very bright, so I look out the window and it's a beautiful summer day. It's like the middle of June. School's about to end in a week, and then I have to go to my summer job, which I'm not looking forward to. But I look outside, the birds are chirping, the sun is shining, there's like a nice summer breeze going through the trees in my backyard, and everything looks beautiful. The sky is blue, there's not a single cloud out there, and I kind of want to go outside and kind of enjoy the nicest day we've had in like months. And then I realized that I can't, because I already have this responsibility that is gaming to take care of. I have to keep working on my Minecraft server. Because it's the most fun thing to do out there. Like, what am I going to do outside? Like, nothing I can possibly think of to do outside. No activity that I can dream up is going to be funner than building my Minecraft empire, than building some kind of railway in my Minecraft world, or like farming this or farming that, and getting this and that and the other achievement. And B, because I already have this responsibility to video games. Video games are like my boss. They're like a cruel mistress that keeps calling you back to it, keeps calling you back to work for it, because there's always this new achievement. There's always this new thing to level up in. There's always this new world to conquer in video games. And it's like a never-ending cycle. It's like this never-ending vortex that sucks up your time and your attention and your productivity. And I find that if you let that take a hold of you and you don't look back, it kind of sucks up your soul. It takes away your ability to relate to other people. It takes away your energy. It takes away your life force, your zest for life. You want to go out and do things and accomplish stuff in the real world. And especially as young men, I think that we can relate to that, where video games are such a massive problem for us, because we have a want to conquer. We have a want to get things done, to do stuff, to make a name for ourselves, to be the best at this and that thing. And yeah, video games just takes that all away. But moving on to the next point about how to actually quit video games. I found it's better to stop gaming first and then to move on to the good habits, rather than trying, okay, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat clean, I'm going to journal, I'm going to do all this stuff, and then I'll play some video games after. And you can try that, and you might even get like all those good habits done within a day and then move on to gaming. But what you're going to find is going to happen is that you're not going to be present during those activities. While you're meditating, you're not going to be focused on your breath. While you're going to the gym, you're not going to be focused on the quality of your reps, or the time under tension, or the train to failure, or whatever. You're going to be focused on what you're going to do in your video game after you're done all of this, because it is the most fun thing. It is the best graphics, it has the best storyline, it's so much more exciting than your life could ever be. So why would you focus on all this boring stuff over here that may be gratifying in the long term, and may be better for you in the long term, and maybe you know that, but why would you focus on that in the moment when this gaming thing is so much more fun? It makes no sense, right? So what you have to do is you have to eliminate, or at least master, your urge to game before you move on to the good habits. So how do you master your urge to game, you might ask? Well, the way to do it, the tactic, is to basically get rid of your gaming setup. Now this might sound a little bit scary, but it's basically as easy as removing this visual trigger that is gaming from your field of vision, right? So I used to always have like my PC in my room, right? And then I kept it there, and then whenever I saw it, I would want to start playing video games again. So once I moved my laptop or my gaming PC, whatever, into our family room, into our dining room, I kind of put it like on the floor to like charge and whatever. And then I kind of promised myself, and I promised other people in my family, that I would only be going on the laptop when I was sitting at the family table, so they would be able to see like what games I was playing. When I had already promised them that I would be quitting gaming, I already told my family that, hey, I'm going to make this intention to stop gaming, and if you see me gaming, then call me out on it. You don't necessarily have to try and stop me, but just say, hey, were you trying to quit video games? And that kind of stuff. So once I had that accountability and I had gaming out of my sight, maybe you want to sell your console on eBay, well, maybe you want to put it in storage, maybe you want to give it to a friend, whatever. Once it's just out of your field of vision, you're naturally going to think about it less. So if this doesn't work for you, then another thing you could try is just keeping your gaming setup where it is. Keep your Xbox right next to your TV, keep your PlayStation there, keep your gaming PC on your desk in your room, but then basically just see your gaming setup. Like every time you walk in your room and you come back from school, you come back from your job, you come back from whatever, you're going to see your gaming setup, but then you're going to remember this promise that you made to yourself to not play video games. You're going to kind of take a moment to be present and come back to the moment and think about, hey, this is the thing I'm trying to quit. This is the bad habit that used to define me and almost destroy my life, but now I'm going to ignore it. Now I'm going to move on from it. And then once you do that, once you've mastered your urge to game, or at least you put parameters around your gaming to make it harder or more embarrassing or more shameful for you to actually game, then the next step is basically just as easy as getting back on track to your old life before gaming, or by just making a life for yourself, basically just getting a life outside of gaming. So this can look like any number of things, but how I recommend you do it is you basically just find what habits, what hobbies really call you outside of gaming. And you can explore that by basically just like sitting down with a pen and a piece of paper and asking yourself, why did I game in the first place? Why was I so hooked on video games in the first place? What called me to them? And maybe that's the sense of purpose and achievement that they gave you. Maybe it was like the art form and like the visuals that you were so called to. And maybe you want to become like some kind of artist instead of just kind of like consume this visual crack that is gaming. Or maybe because it's like the level of competition and achievement that it offers you, then you can get into martial arts, get into a competitive sport, get into bodybuilding. If you're addicted to like kind of that feeling of progress and like progressive overload that gaming brings you, then you can get into lifting weights and increasing your bench max, stuff like that. That's how I beat my gaming addiction. It was largely just due to getting into the gym and then like working super hard at that, putting the same spirit that made me stay up till 1 a.m. playing games. I put that same drive and that same ambition and that same want to achieve that I had into training to failure on every single set of the gym and doing like these crazy 1 hour, 2 hour workouts just to kind of like beat out that sense of ambition and purpose from me. And then once I was done the workout, I would like look at my pump in the mirror or whatever, right? I would look at how big I was getting. I would take protein. I would try and hit my macros and everything after the workout. And I would be really proud of myself, because real life is basically just a video game if you find the right kind of stuff for you to do, the right kind of activities that engage you, and then you go super hard on them. So yeah, just find clubs to get into, find different people who aren't gamers to hang around with, who do cool stuff. That once you're off of gaming and you live in the real world with real people and you're making real connections in relationships, becomes so much more engaging than any other game could. So yeah, I'm going to leave you with that. Go ahead and try that out. That's what I did to beat my gaming addiction, and I hope it helps you. And if it did, like and subscribe, leave a comment, or if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And yeah, check out my course, and I'll see you later. Bye.